Turtles here with another special Turtle Cast. How are we doing today? Oh man, this one's brought to you by. Don't worry, I'm not passing gas right there. I was actually trying to squirt out some hand sanitizer because I was just using a gas pump, pumping gas, and I almost didn't go back for the convenience, thinking that I might not be there, but I got so stuck in the moment with whatever I was doing that I forgot to pump my gas. So when I was 10 minutes away about and I saw my gas light pop on, I was like, oh, you forgot to get your gas. So I went back, and went and got my gas. But on the way back, I listened to some more Gary Halbert. And one thing that he said that I will bring to you from a very explicit, rare tape of Gary Halbert is that you need to have a family of ads. You need to have a family of ads. And what he meant by that too is you need to have all different types of ads, like full page ads, couple sentences here and there, what emails. So what I was thinking is that in the 2020s is you need to have the same kind of ad on all different platforms. So for instance, you make a YouTube, you get that transcribed, you make a podcast or whatever, right? Same thing, get that transcribed, put it into an email. Once you get it into an email, you could also pull parts out and make it into a Facebook post and find a suitable picture or video or meme that you can make out of that. You can also take this to Twitter. You can also take this to TikTok. So, and if you're somebody that's swiping ads for inspiration, same thing. Now think about it this way. You might think, well, if somebody's going to see my stuff, they're not going to see the Twitter post, they're not going to see the Facebook, they're not going to see the email, they're not going to see the YouTube. Don't worry about that. The reason why I'm saying that is because chances are whoever is listening or reading or consuming your content is probably just on one of those channels mostly, at least for that time, or they consume you mostly on that platform. So it's not a bad idea. It's probably a good, profitable idea for you to broadcast your message on as many platforms as you can and just package it in the way that is easiest for them to consume on that platform. So, you know what I mean? You don't need to transcribe your whole entire message onto an email if it's 15-20 minutes long, like this podcast or whatever. You know what I mean? Like for example, this Turtlecast might be condensed into several emails, or just parts of it is, or when you type something in a Twitter or whatever, you only have so many characters there. Same thing with Facebook. And on your blog or whatever. So that's what I got from Gary Halbert there, is that you want a family of advertisements. You want a family of advertisements. So another thing that I picked up on when I went back to the gas station is I seen an older guy with like a moped, like a motorcycle, and the kid that was working there, he's outside, he's all like in awe and stuff, and I see what's going on here. It appears to me that he wants to get this kid to buy the motorcycle, to buy the moped. And you should sell your product, whether it's a newsletter, whether it's a consumable, if you're coaching, you're live coaching, whatever it is, you got a program, whatever it is, a product. You want to be like this guy that's selling this prospect a moped. And he wasn't like a salesman or whatever. He was just talking about the features, the benefits, and all these kinds of things. And he was just like kind of pitching it as if like it's his mode of transportation. And I was like, the reason why I think this is important is because this kid that's working at the gas station, this is the best thing he's seen all day since sliced bread, okay? Because he's bored as shit. He's working at a gas station, for God's sakes, and he's thinking about what he could do when he gets out of work. Ride this moped home. He's a teenager, right? He's a teenager, for God's sakes. This moped is all he's thinking about. You see what I'm saying? And this guy might not even be pitching it like he's selling it, but it doesn't matter. This kid wants a moped. So if you want to sell anybody anything, sell him that moped. Now, you could basically sell it for whatever price. He's buying it because, you know what I mean? Like, that guy went past all the gatekeepers and said, here you go. I have this cool little bike. And I could just see that this guy is hot. The guy that's working at the gas station is hot and ready for a fucking moped. And if he's not, he's saving up his paychecks for one. He's thinking about it. He's like, maybe he might even drive a car. He's like, I just want a moped to drive to work, right? To drive at this shitty job. So how are you going to pitch your moped to somebody? How, instead of fill in the blank with somebody else? Can you position your product and yourself in the same fashion where that person is just like, man, I really could use that, and just thinking about it and like fantasize like using it and having it and it's theirs, and like, you know, it's like, how are you going to save this person time or energy or embarrassment or frustration? How is your product or service going to benefit them? I think there's one more thing I wanted to say, and that was, don't think small. See, I almost didn't turn around to get my gas. You see people, they get obsessed with gas prices. Oh, it's $4.20, it's for this, it's $4.10, it's $4.18, it's under $3. I understand gas prices are through the roof, and companies will just make up inflated rates to say that it has to do with gas prices, even if it doesn't. It's just, people are going to do that. But you gotta think bigger than that. Now if you're somebody that likes to joyride or ride your car or vehicle or truck or whatever around, and you are also talking about gas prices, thinking about gas, just stop for a second. Why don't you just stop joyriding? Why don't you find a quicker, more efficient way to get to where you're going? Why don't you leave with more purpose? You want to save money on gas? Go in your vehicle with intent. And if you do that, you'll save so much money. You don't need to worry about gas prices. What are we talking about here? A few cents? 50 cents? $1? What are you talking about? Like, what you know what I mean? Like, Look at where you're going, how you're spending your time, how you're spending your money. You know what I mean? If you really want to save money, what are the obstacles that are in your way? So, anyways, I'm almost home. So the cost of my time to go back to get my gas was at least enough to give you this message today, to give you something to value to go home with. Because, like I said, sometimes it might get to a point where it's just like the cost to do business outweighs whatever it is the reward is. You got to think about that with your business. Like are all the front end and back end costs eating away at your profits to a point where you're barely breaking even? And not only that, but you hate what you're doing. You need to get out of that freaking business. You really fucking do. I'm telling you. Like, if you're just doing it for money, and then the money is barely like minimum wage even, and it's like slave labor doing this, like, see, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. If you could still wear a smile and not make enough money and not make a lot of money, then I think maybe you do too, that you're actually onto something. Like, that's important, actually. The fact that you're still willing to stick it out with something even though it doesn't pay. But if you also hate it and it also doesn't pay, you need to get the fuck out of it. But you can have it one way or the other. You can hate it and make a lot of money, or love it and barely scrape by. I think those two polar opposites are workable models for something that I'm going to get into in another Turtle Cast. You have yourself a wonderful night, wonderful day, whatever it is. Thank you so much for listening. Go to turtlecastusa.com for more updates and anything else turtley related. You can also send me an email at turtle@cast.com, or for a limited time, just to work out some kinks, you could also go to turtlecastusa@gmail.com. turtlecastusa@gmail.com. Thanks again for listening. Peace.